There is a strange shortcut to being liked, and it is not becoming louder, funnier, richer, better dressed, or the human version of a motivational poster. Carnegie's shortcut is much more demanding. Become genuinely interested in other people, not performatively interested, not waiting for your turn to speak interested, actually interested. Welcome back to this book summary series on how to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie. In this part, we begin part 2 of the book, 6 Ways to Make People Like You. We cover the first 3 habits. Show genuine interest, smile, and remember that a person's name matters deeply to them. The first habit is the foundation. Become genuinely interested in other people. Carnegie opens this section with a blunt observation. You can make more friends by becoming interested in others than by trying to get others interested in you. That line is famous because it punctures a very common social strategy. Many people try to win attention by advertising themselves. Here are my opinions. Here are my achievements. Here is my pain, my cleverness, my resume, my playlist, my excellent analysis of why everyone else is doing life incorrectly. Carnegie says the more reliable path is to turn outward. He gives examples from dogs, public figures, sales, and everyday encounters. A dog becomes beloved not because it has a 5-point networking strategy, but because it runs toward people as if they matter. Carnegie is not asking adults to become puppies. That would create separate problems. He is pointing to the emotional truth. People warm to those who seem honestly glad to see them. Genuine interest cannot be fake for long. If you ask about someone's life only to wait for a business opening, the conversation has the warmth of a vending machine. But if you notice details, remember concerns, ask follow-up questions, and care about the answer, people feel it. This habit is especially powerful because most people feel underseen. They may be surrounded by messages, meetings, and contacts, but still rarely feel that someone is paying close attention. Carnegie's advice sounds small until you realize how rare it is. He is also clear that interest must become action. Write letters. Make calls. Remember birthdays. Ask about the project someone mentioned last month. Speak to the person who is usually ignored. Learn what matters to the other person before you ask anything from them. The principle is not merely social charm. It is respect expressed through attention. The second habit is simpler on the surface. Smile. Carnegie treats a smile as a signal. It says, "I'm glad to see you. You're not a problem walking toward me. You're welcome here." A real smile changes the emotional climate before words arrive. He tells stories of people whose careers and relationships improved when they began consciously smiling at others. Again, the modern reader may roll their eyes. Smile? That is the big secret? Wonderful. Someone please alert the universities. But Carnegie is not saying a smile solves everything. He is saying that the emotional tone you bring into a room affects what becomes possible there. People respond not only to your words, but to the feeling of your presence. If you approach others with a face that looks like a locked filing cabinet, they may not rush to open up. The key word is sincerity. A forced smile can feel like customer service holding itself together with tape. Carnegie means the kind of expression that comes from goodwill. If you do not feel it, he suggests acting as if you were cheerful, because action and feeling influence each other. This is one of his recurring practical moves. Do the behavior first, and the emotion may follow. There's a deeper point here about responsibility. Carnegie does not want you to wait until the world makes you warm. He wants you to bring warmth first. In relationships, someone has to set the tone. The person who smiles, greets, and opens the door emotionally often shapes the encounter. This does not require pretending life is perfect. A smile is not denial. It is an offering. It says, whatever else is happening, I choose not to make this interaction colder than it needs to be. The third habit is one of Carnegie's most famous. Remember that a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Names matter because they represent identity. To forget someone's name can feel, rightly or wrongly, like forgetting the person. To remember it can feel like recognition. Carnegie gives the example of Jim Farley, a politician known for remembering names at a remarkable scale. That memory was not a party trick. It made people feel individually important. This chapter is not really about name memorization alone. It is about personalizing attention. A name says, I have not filed you under random human, approximate height, probably work somewhere. I have noticed you. Carnegie tells readers to make the effort. Hear the name clearly. Ask for it again if needed. Repeat it. Associate it. Write it down. And use it respectfully. The effort itself is part of the message. People know when they have been treated as interchangeable. In business, this can change the tone of a relationship. In friendship, it builds warmth. In leadership, it reduces distance. In service work, it gives dignity. In any setting, it says the person is not merely a function. They are a person. These first three habits share one principle. Make the other person feel visible. Genuine interest says, your life matters enough for my attention. A smile says, your presence is welcome. A remembered name says, you are not generic to me. Carnegie's genius is that he turns ordinary behavior into deliberate practice. None of this requires brilliance. That may be the insulting part. The difficulty is not intellectual. It is emotional and habitual. We forget because we are absorbed in ourselves. We fail to smile because we are preoccupied. We do not ask questions because we are preparing our own performance. So the work is not to become dazzling. It is to become less self-absorbed. This is why Carnegie's advice has lasted. He understood that most social failure is not caused by a lack of technique. It is caused by excessive inwardness. We enter conversations thinking, how am I doing? Do they like me? What should I say next? Did I sound smart? Why did I wave like that? Was that laugh normal? Should I move to another country? Carnegie redirects the question, how are they doing? What matters to them? What name should I remember? What detail can I honor? What warmth can I bring? The shift is simple, but it changes everything. There is also a warning hidden here. If you use these habits only as tools to extract advantage, they decay. People are not fooled forever by strategic warmth. Carnegie keeps returning to sincerity because social technique without sincere regard becomes manipulation. It may work briefly, but it does not build trust. The book's better path is to practice real regard until it becomes natural. Be curious because people are interesting. Smile because warmth is better than coldness. Remember names because identity deserves respect. The reward is influence, yes, but also a better way of moving through the world. Think about the last person who made you feel truly heard. Not entertained, not impressed. Heard. There's a good chance you remember them with unusual warmth. Carnegie is teaching you how to become that person more often. And if that sounds too simple, that may be because the simplest courtesies are the ones people neglect most confidently. Thank you for listening. In the next part, we continue the remaining 3 ways to make people like you. Becoming a good listener, talking in terms of the other person's interests, and making the other person feel important. To be liked, Carnegie says, do not begin by trying to be interesting. Begin by being interested.